We will ensure that each of your products is given a proof of concept at a larger scale. What happens then is, if it works, if it takes off, then you'll have more and more buy-ins from various other, potential future customers and future investors. You have the mayors from various parts of the country coming in here. Mayor from Kanpur is here. Mayor from Goa, Panjim, I think. Mayor from Chandigarh was here. Mysore was here. All of them obviously would have been enthralled by your exuberance, by your, exhibits, by your products, by your ideas. And I'm sure they've all taken notes. I'm sure they've all, taken a lot of interest in your products. The one thing I'll tell you is, India is one country, which is possibly the youngest country in the world today. Our median age of the nation right now is 27. 50% of the population has an age of 27, average age of 27. If you actually expand it a bit, India's population, 65% of India is less than the age of 35. In fact, if you ask me, more than anything else, that's our biggest strength. That's the biggest, strength any nation can offer to in today's world. The world is getting older. There are countries which are incentivizing, their citizens to have children. They're encouraging them to have more than 2 children, 3 children, because the world is getting older and older, while India is still young. That's our biggest strength, because the think force that India offers today, in terms of solutions, in terms of problem-solving abilities, in terms of ideas, is where, the world is headed, where we are all also headed. Now, my humble request to Administrative Staff College of India, let's not leave this event as is. For next year, in fact, Arvind Kumar, my Special Chief Secretary, was suggesting that we should also invite international participants. We should bring in people not only from 26 states in India, but also possibly bring in, innovators, young innovators from across the world as well. We could possibly collaborate with the Water Hub in Singapore. We could invite them. We could have, people from Middle East, people from Southeast Asia, other parts of Europe, Americas, and we could have possibly a 3-day event wherein we could not only exhibit, in fact, we will also provide a platform. We should invite the venture capitalists, because one of the things I believe in is the best of ideas, unless they are nurtured, unless they are curated, unless they are actually funded. And in India, unfortunately or fortunately, what we need is not venture capital, we need adventure capital. We need people who are enthusiastic about supporting youngsters. Without that, you will not pass the valley of death, as they call it. There could be great ideas. There could be great minds who could be working together, who could be wanting to change the world. The fact is, you need people to fund you. We have, Ms. Rupa from IndusInd Bank. We had a quick discussion with her. She has promised and she has, given us a commitment that her bank would most certainly work with our Wash Hub, and look forward to that, ma'am. I'm sure that she will inspire, she and her action, her decision will inspire others. I also know that we are in the ICICI building, so I'm sure they are somewhere also here. Kahan pe hai yaar? Hi. I'm sure we can reach out to them as well. As a government, of course, we will invest, but we look forward to the private sector to work closely with us, create a fund of funds. Let's encourage our youngsters to actually scale up, actually to start, creating real-world examples which will thrive, which will actually flourish, and which will provide solutions to the rest of the world. So I thank you very much for coming to Hyderabad. I hope you've enjoyed our hospitality. I hope you've enjoyed our city. For those of you who are from outside of this city, let me also share with you, this city, in fact, not only offers the best biryani in the country, we also offer you a number of other amazing, innovating options as well. We are home, in fact, to India's largest technology incubator, which is not very far from here, called as T-Hub. We are also home to India's only women entrepreneurs hub, called as the V-Hub, which is also not very far from here. And we are also home to 57 other incubating spaces, which is the largest number of, incubators anywhere in the country for any city. So this is a city that encourages innovation. This is a city that nurtures innovators. So I welcome you all, irrespective of where you are from in India. You could be from Kanpur, I met somebody from Gujarat, I met somebody else from Assam. I welcome you all to come to Telangana, to innovate, incubate, incorporate in Telangana and grow your enterprise here and become a successful entrepreneur. Thank you very much for joining us here.
Thank you very much, sir. So with your permission, can we have some audience interaction with you? Thank you very much. So would there be any questions or, yeah. So can I request the mic runners to please? Request you to keep your questions, observations brief and positive.
Hello sir, I'm Akhilesh. Firstly, as we have administration from across India, I would like to share, I have been to many global innovation hubs, a lot of youth summits and sustainable symposiums, sir. But honestly, I'd like to say of all the innovations, innovators and startups, I'd like to confess among all that man there, Manna, is the best innovator. My state, Telangana, is the best startup.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sir, a question and a request, sir. Question. And if the answer to my question is yes, I want to, from the forum, through you, put a request to our CM, sir. Question, sir. As in the recent past, we have had Impact Summit, a sustainable summit by Balavikas NGO. Today, we are celebrating Inkwash by ASCI. We have the various sub T, V, Y, S, A to Z, I'm sure, in the near future. Since we are imbibing all the global innovation and practice in them, can we draft out an exclusive ministry for sustainability and innovation, sir? And my request, sir, please say yes, let us lead the way. Thank you, sir.
What's your name, I'm sorry?
Akhilesh, sir.
Thank you, Akhilesh. Akhilesh, firstly, thank you for all the generous compliments. Very kind of you to say that. Let me get up, otherwise I'm going to look very old. I'll just say one thing. You know, Constitution of India actually mandates that only 15% of the legislators can, the number of ministries is linked to the number of, legislators. So therefore, there are only 18 ministers, including the chief minister in Telangana. So unfortunately, I don't know if we can actually have a minister who is looking dedicatedly at this, but I'm sure sustainability, because Honorable Chief Minister himself is a huge environmentalist, so definitely a great idea. I'll pass it on to him. Hopefully he'll say yes. Thank you, Akhilesh. Thank you.
So we can recommend Professor Chari's name for that.
Anybody else? All right, we're done.
Yes, next question. Lady there.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Itosha. I'm from an organization called Waste Warriors from Himachal.
Can we stop doing that with lights, please? Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah, so I'm Itosha. I'm from an organization called Waste Warriors from Himachal. We work in the mountainous regions in waste management, collecting waste from the households, communities, businesses, any establishment you name, and we try to process it and send it for recycling. But again, the IEC, we have been talking for the last 2 days about a lot of innovations, a lot of processes, a lot of products that are there. But I don't know whether it has been missed out or whether it is me that, because I work in the IC part more, it's kind of a thing that I've been looking forward as an innovator in IEC, which is something that I think I expect from the government to be partners to scale up at a level where NGOs like us or any enterprises can actually work on the ground, on the IEC part, on the awareness part, or all these innovations will come to a standstill.
Absolutely. What's your name again? I'm sorry.
Itosha. Itosha.
Itosha?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Itosha. I thought it was Ekosha, and I thought you were. Thank you.
Yeah.
Firstly, I completely agree with you. There needs to be a lot more awareness, a lot more information campaigns, and a lot more hangama around what we do. I think, without a question, unless that good word starts spreading and good practices, in fact, start spreading, and unless we start inculcating this discipline among our youngsters and school children from a very young age as part of the curriculum, things will not change in our country. Without a question, our government of Telangana, of course, is committed. We will certainly continue to work. One of the things I firmly believe in is, I think when we talk about sustainable development, what we are really saying is not just entrepreneurs, but ecopreneurs, people who are conscious of ecology, conscious of environment, and conscious of what, all the things that are happening in the world in terms of climate change and everything else that goes with it. So from my government, I can commit, but I can't commit for Himachal government, unfortunately. हमारे government की तरफ से तो I pledge full support, full commitment. I'm on social media big time, and if we have to connect to the youngsters of today, we have to, put it out there in social media as well. So I request all of you who have attended here, all the 600 plus or 700 plus, please use your social media platform not to spread hate, but love, but great ideas like this, and spread the word. I think that's the way, that's the best IEC. Government doing it or one individual doing it won't cut it. I think we all have to collectively spread the good word and use these digital platforms to best effect. I'll do my bit, I promise you. Thank you, Hitosha.
Super. Anyone else would like to have questions? Smita ji here? Here. We have a few more mic runners, please.
Namaste, sir. Smita again. Here the request is that rather than government and the ULBs trying to come out with large tenders of individual disparate systems like just for an underground drainage, just for a treatment plant, just for the IoT solutions, if they can come out on a smaller packages of an end-to-end with a sustainable outcome base that for next 5 years you're supposed to continue to give me this output, this outcome, that makes it more viable for governments also to invest money and ensure that that money is not gone down the drain and that solution has proven the test of the time.
मैं एक बात बताता हूँ आपको, हम हैदराबाद में और तेलंगाना में, in fact, we work over a longer period of time, Smita ji. We actually look at, see, even when we are laying a road, we work with the agencies there and we ensure that they actually take up the defect liability also for a period of 5 to 7 years.
Correct.
Because we know that when somebody is investing money and when somebody is actually, investing not just money but a lot of resources, other resources as well, they have to be accountable, and even the governments also have to take their own share of the burden. I completely agree with you, but I differ with you on one point. It's not always the governments that have to invest into projects. In fact, what we have to do, because there's no dearth of capital, there is the ICICI banks, there is the IndusInd banks, there is private equity out there who's wanting to support clean technologies, who's wanting to support sustainable development goals, etc. If we are able to fund and give opportunities to our entrepreneurs in a PPP mode or a BOT mode, I think that's the best thing that any government can do. Because end of the day, absolutely.
I'm not only talking about, sir, the STP plans, whatever requests and the tenders are coming, they are coming with the maintenance. The completeness of the solution lies
End to end is what you're saying.
Yes, from home to the recycling of the treated water. Because they all come in separate pieces, disparate pieces, because of which they somewhere get lost in the chain. Either their cycle of execution is different, the STP would have been commissioned but the network is not yet ready. Or the network is there and then it does not feed in, there is no STP to feed in. So if even a smaller cluster is taken a complete from home to the recycled water gets back to that home, that is what I think will make a more meaningful sense, and that has to be an outcome based, not just the STP.
I agree, but again, like I said, not every entrepreneur will be able to provide an end-to-end kind of solution. So therefore, what we do is we break it into modules. For instance, in Hyderabad, for example, we have gated communities and large apartments, hundreds and hundreds of apartments and thousands of apartments also. What we insist on them is that they actually set up their own sewage treatment plants, and then that treated water is let out into our sewage systems. Likewise, in cases where we have large industrial parks, etc., we mandate as a responsibility towards the environment that they also do their share. So while what you say is theoretically correct, that we need to have end-to-end holistic kind of solution, it may not be possible each and every time, because while see for instance, even the biggest of the companies out there, not just startups, but even the biggest of companies out there, will not have that kind of a complete end-to-end kind of handle. Then they'll have to enter into joint ventures with multiple people, and then the same thing will happen, whatever you just mentioned, each one doing their own modular piece, and it's coming together as a joint venture. So, in theory, it's right, but in practicality, because I've been a minister now for 8 years looking after this department, I know that there are some hinges, some hitches in terms of implementing it practically. But I get your point. I get your passion. I get your point. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, in fact, our FSTPs, yeah, one city, one operator is what she's saying, but nobody may be able to have the end-to-end kind of thing. Thank you.
Mayor ma'am.
Sure. Pramila ji, namaskar. I think she deserves a big round of applause. Madam is from Kanpur, she's come all the way. Thank you, madam. Dhanyawad.
नमस्कार मंत्री जी और यहाँ पर आए हुए हमारे सभी समस्त।
आप ऊपर क्यों नहीं आती? ऊपर आइए। इधर आइए। स्पॉटलाइट।
भारत माता की, भारत माता की, वंदे वंदे। आए हुए यहाँ पर समस्त अपने महापौरों को मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ अपने मंत्री महोदय को, जिन्होंने हर सवाल का निस्तारण 1 मिनट में किया, इसलिए मैं इनको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ कि ये इसी तरीके से बढ़ें, यही मेरा इनका आशीर्वाद है। मैं अपनी मेयर महोदया को बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ कि मैं आपके शहर में आई और आपने हमको 2 मिनट बोलने का मौका दिया।
शहर कैसा लगा हमारा?
शहर आपका अच्छा है, लेकिन एक बात मैं जरूर कहूँगी, यहाँ आकर अपने मेयरों से मैं इसको साझा करूँगी कि हम लोग इस भाग दौड़ की जिंदगी में भागते जा रहे हैं, मशीन टाइप, लेकिन हम लोग आने वाली पीढ़ी के बारे में नहीं सोच रहे हैं। वो सबसे बड़ा ये है कि जो पानी, जो हमारा जल है, जिसको हमको बहुत ही जरूरी है कि उसको बना के संचय उसको रखें, क्योंकि पानी जल ही हमारा जीवन है, बगैर उसके जीवन नहीं है। लेकिन होता क्या है, अगर 1 लोटे पानी की जरूरत है तो हम 4 लोटा पानी खर्च करते हैं। हमको इसी पर सोचना है और इसी के बारे में समझना है कि हम अपने आने वाली पीढ़ी के लिए क्या छोड़ के जाएंगे। यही है कि हम पर्यावरण मुक्त कर दें, सब पर्यावरण के लिए पेड़ लगा दें। मैं तो ये कहती हूँ अपने शहर में, आप गंदगी मत साफ करिए, लेकिन गंदगी मत करिए, शहर अपने आप साफ रहेगा। मैं कहती हूँ कि आप गंगा जी को मत साफ करिए, किसी नदी को मत साफ करिए, लेकिन आप उनको गंदा मत करिए, वो अपने आप साफ हो जाएंगे। मैं कहती हूँ कि पेड़ मत लगाइए, आप एक पेड़ को मत काटिए, पेड़ अपने आप पैदा होकर के आपको ऑक्सीजन देगा और आप अच्छी जिंदगी जी पाएंगे। इन शब्दों के साथ मैं आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ, अपनी वाणी को विराम देना चाहती हूँ। धन्यवाद। मुझे जाना है, इसलिए मुझे आपसे कहना, मैं अपने मंत्री जी को बहुत बहुत बधाई देना चाहती हूँ कि जो अपने शहर के कोई भी अगर उनसे कोई सवाल कर रहा तो 1 मिनट उसका जवाब दे रहे, इसलिए मैं अपने इस यंग बेटे को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। I think what she said is extremely commonsensical, but again, common sense is not very common. You know, I went to Japan, I went to Tokyo. प्रमिला जी, मैं कह रहा था कि आपने जो कहा एकदम, आप बैठिए तो, आप एकदम, आपने जो कहा बहुत कॉमन सेंस वाली पॉइंट है। मैं गया था जापान, टोक्यो, और मैं बिजनेस ट्रिप पे गया था। वहाँ जाके मैं घूम रहा हूँ, इधर उधर जा रहा हूँ, 2 दिन में इससे उससे बहुत कुछ मिल रहा हूँ, बट देखते जा रहा हूँ, क्योंकि मैं इंडस्ट्री का भी मंत्री हूँ। मैं तो इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए गया था, बट ये भी देख रहा था कि क्या हो रहा है। देखता हूँ कि हर जगह साफ है। मैं 2 दिन देखा, फिर मेरे से रहा नहीं गया, तो मैंने एक वहाँ पे हमारे इंडियन एम्बेसी में जो एक जापानीज आदमी था, हमारा दोस्त बन गया था 2 दिन में, उसको मैंने पकड़ लिया। बोला कि भाई क्या करते हो तुम लोग, कितने बार साफ करते हो शहर? मैं तो देख नहीं रहा हूँ किसी को, तो 5 बार करते हो, 6 बार करते हो, कितने बार करते हो दिन में? वो हंस दिया, उसने कुछ नहीं बोला, हंस दिया। मैंने बोला ये क्या हो रहा है? आई सेड हाउ मेनी टाइम्स डू यू क्लीन? कुछ नहीं बोल रहा है। मैं बोला यार बता दे, क्योंकि हाउ डू यू कीप योर सिटी क्लीन, आप कैसे साफ रखते हो? तो उसने बताया क्या कहा कि हम लोग पहले तो इसमें गंद नहीं डालते हैं, हम लोग वी डोंट डर्टी इट इन द फर्स्ट प्लेस। दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट यू सेड, कि पहले अगर डर्टी ना करो, अगर गंद मत फैलाओ, तो फिर साफ करने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी. सो माई request to you and also I think to all of us who are in this room is I think we have to start training our next generation. As she said, हम लोग तो बिगड़ गए. I think we are a gone case now. We still throw everything outside. You know, when nobody is watching, we do things, you know, which we take for granted. And the same lot, I tell you, the funny part is, मुझे सबसे ताजुब की बात ये लगती है मैडम, मैं अपने छोटी सी बच्ची थी मेरी बेटी, आज वो 12-13 साल की है, बट जब वो 5 साल की थी, उसको मैं ले गया एक बार सिंगापुर हॉलीडे पे. तो मैं उसको उतरते ही उसको मैंने वहाँ बोला कि यहाँ पे अगर तू कहीं चॉकलेट रैपर कहीं भी फेंक देगी ना, तो वो लोग आके पकड़ के तेरे को ले जाएंगे, जेल में डाल देंगे. उसने बोला रियली? मैं बोला हाँ. तो फिर अगले 5 दिन तक हम लोग जब वहाँ पे थे, उसने एक बार भी अपना चॉकलेट रैपर कहीं नहीं फेंका. तो मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ, जो द थिंग्स दैट वी टेक फॉर ग्रांटेड हियर, द थिंग्स दैट वी डू हियर, एंड द सेम सेट ऑफ पीपल व्हेन वी गो आउट, वी आर एक्सट्रीमली वेल बिहेव्ड, वी आर डिफरेंट पीपल. आई थिंक वो जो इंडिया में टेक इट इजी, यू नो, चलता है, सब चलता है, एटीट्यूड है, आई थिंक दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम. बट इफ आई स्टार्ट लेविंग फाइन्स, इफ आई स्टार्ट लेविंग फाइन्स फॉर लिटरिंग, I'll be chastised by my opposition, by others, you know, saying कि तुम क्या कर रहे हो. ट्रैफिक का मैं चालान डालता हूँ कोई ट्रैफिक वायलेशन पे, तो कोई एक आदमी आके बोलता है हैदराबाद इलेक्शन में कि सब माफ कर दूंगा. मैं क्या बोलूँ यार. आई एम ट्राइंग टू ब्रिंग इन अ सेंस ऑफ डिसिप्लिन. It is not for my own sake. It is for the sake of the city, for the sake of the citizens. But even that is being looked at politically. So that's the kind of country and interesting country we live in. So I think next generation, मैं जैसा बोल रहा हूँ next generation तो थोड़ा मुश्किल है. But next gen, I think we have to start, catch them young, train them well, you know, start teaching them the basics of, you know, living in a civilized society. Only then things will change. And I request you all to start at home. And then possibly it can, you know, the word can spread. Thank you. Thank you, madam. Have you concluded that, or I think she left, I think.
We'll take 2 last questions.
Yes, madam. नहीं आप बिल्कुल बिल्कुल आइए तो. I think all the mayors want to take it, but you can go on.
Okay. I, Dr. Shailaja, coming from CSR IICT, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, and I firstly would like to
Thank you, madam. No, please. Thank you. Dr. Shailaja, please go on.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. What I wanted to place on record over here is these solutions are being adopted. Okay, as you rightly said, you know, we have spoiled already, so we have to do this activity of trying to renovate them or renew those water lakes, bodies that we have spoiled a lot, and water hyacinth coming in, that causing a lot of communicable diseases and so on and so forth. But these solutions to be deployed in the scale it has to, that's not happening. Although the government and the R&D organizations are coming together, my appeal to you would be that you being also the Mantri for IT, if only corporates could come forward to tie up and bring in this change under their corporate social responsibility funds, then I think we can really make a difference, sir. This is what I think is very important, because we as CSIR organization have the CSR1 form registration, and we can be the implementing agencies under CSR. So if you could motivate our corporates, we the Hyderabadians will be very proud to make Hyderabad as the cleanest city of India. Why only Indore? Hat-trick it got. Why not we? So this is my appeal to you. If you could motivate them, I think we can make a difference.
Thank you, Shailaja Garu.
Thank you. Last question.
One of the things we are doing already, in fact, Arvind can share more details with you. We are going to, in fact, out of the 180 odd lakes in Hyderabad, we have developed some, but not all. In fact, we are working very closely with corporates. In fact, I got Durgam Cheruvu developed in entirety by, you know, a company which has a large IT park there called Raheja. You know, they've developed it. Likewise, in fact, now, in the last 7 years, there's been a huge real estate boom in Hyderabad. The construction industry is doing really well. So one of the things I did, as an idea, and between me and Arvind, is I said, who are the biggest builders in Hyderabad? In which neighborhood are they building? For instance, if somebody is building in Uppal, let's go and talk to them and let's tell them, listen, by adopting a lake locally and by spending your CSR money there and improving the lake and its surroundings, you will not only improve the city, but you will improve your own marketability of your own product. So there is that win-win kind of a situation that we can build. So we are now going to kick off about 60 lakes, out of which 45 will come from this effort, and about 15 will be from the GHMC and HMDA directly. And you will see some perceptible changes over the next 9 months. That I promise. But yes, completely agree with you.
Sir,
One last question.
Mr. Ganges Reddy, can we...
IICT? Absolutely. In fact, I'll request Arvind to get in touch with you, Shailaja. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Ganges Reddy, we had a good discussion, so I'm just...
Ganges.
Yes, sir. The one submission
Yes.
is to integrate the sewage treatment with the lakes.
I'm sorry, say that again. Integrate the IICT
Integrate
with...
the sewage treatment
Uh-huh.
with the lakes.
Of course, in fact, I didn't mention this to you. I think I should have mentioned it in my speech. By the end of this year, Hyderabad will be the first city in India to be treating 100% of its sewage, because we are already doing this large project with about 3,866 crore rupees, and almost all of our 2,000 MLD sewage that gets generated every day in Hyderabad will be treated. We are working. In fact, I'm supposed to go visit a STP under construction right after this program. I'm not sure Arvind is going to allow me that, but I think we'll do that right after this. Yes, wonderful. By the end of this year, it's happen.
Thank you very much. Sir, Daiki, Japanese company, they want to make a quick announcement. So I would like to...
I think, are they writing a check or something? Or? The Japanese are a bit conservative. You guys don't decide easy, so... कहाँ जा रहे हो? इधर आ जाओ, इधर आ जाओ, ये माइक है. Stage is yours. Make an announcement.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sure, sir. So, first thing first, we are very happy to participate in INCWAS, and we are highly impressed with the work being done here by Chari sir and the team. And we are, of course, with the government and the minister. That was the starting point. But we were, in fact, to hear you out, I have decided to miss my flight. I had a flight to catch, but I thought it is more than worthwhile. And just to tell you that Daiki is a 60-year-old company making decentralized STP based on Jokaso technology from government of Japan. And we came to India in 2018, started our first factory in Gujarat. In this year, we are opening our factory in Haryana, and company has decided to look at South as the next destination. And looking at your kind of vision and the way you are supporting industry, I would very strongly recommend company to set up factory in Telangana. So that's next year. And of course, we will be supporting INCWAS hub with whatever we can support, both in the company capacity and my personal capacity to Charigarh. Thank you so much.
Sir, आपका नाम बोलिए.
Kamal Tiwari. Kamal.
I think Kamalji, has given me the news of the day. So thank you very much, sir. I promise you we'll be much better than Gujarat and Haryana. I assure you that.
And I can invite Chari sir to Delhi. We have our Japanese management coming there next week, and we can
Perfect.
look at next.
He's inviting you to Delhi next week so that you can ink the deal for us. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
So sorry about it. I think after the event we will. So just wanted to, there's no vote of thanks. I just want to thank all of you for taking out your time and spending with us for 2 days. I want to thank media partners. I want to thank all the elected representatives. But more importantly, while elected representatives have given us the vision and inspiration, I would like to profoundly thank, of course, Honorable Mayor, GHMC and other elected representatives, but I would like to profoundly thank the leadership provided by Shri Arvind Kumar Garu. Particularly, I would like to acknowledge and thank him, without which we wouldn't have done this. And I would like to thank, fantastic, this level of energy I can't see anywhere. So, Dr. Satyanarayana, our CDMA, and he's these are the two people they drive us and they also inspire us. So I just wanted to thank. Often politicians take the whole limelight, but there is very powerful bureaucracy behind, which is supporting us and making this happen. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for taking this one.
Sir, just one last. Can I ask ASCII team members to please come on the dais? Just the ASCII team members, please. Only ASCII team members, can they please come on to the dais? I request others to please stay back. ASCII team members only, please.